Broadcasting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, you're listening to the Low Blow MMA Boxing Podcast.
Bud Hernandez with the Low Blow and Southwest Fight News, here with Eric Dodson, Jackson's MMA.
Yes, sir.
Your second amateur fight is coming up,
Yes, sir.
The Jackson's MMA Series 10. You were on the last Jackson's MMA Series where you had a pretty good knockout of Fernie Garcia, who fights out of a tough Bushido MMA gym. What was that like to be in trouble and then just to, defend yourself, still defend yourself intelligently and get a knockout?
It was good. It was all surreal, and it was my first fight, so and I was kind of nervous but excited all at the same time. So it kind of went by as a blur, and everything just kind of happened, and then I realized it after the fact. So.
Do any of your teammates put that type of pressure on you? Because Garcia, he brought it for a while, but you still kept your arms up the entire time.
Yeah, we have a lot of guys who hit pretty hard, and they pretty much put you in trouble to a decent amount. I mean, nobody's trying to knock you out here. Everybody's kind of decently competitive, but at the same time, they're teammates. But yeah, I mean, it's happened before, and then they tell you to keep your hands up. So I'm just glad that we practiced it a lot, and I kept my hands up.
So your next opponent is Scott Ingram. Do you know much about him, or just within the amateur level, how much research do you do on these guys?
We looked for film for him. We found his first 2 fights, but other than that, we don't have too much on him. I think he's 3-3, so he's had 6 fights. We've got his first couple of fights, but he could have grown as a fighter, which I assume every fighter grows after their fight. So. We seen his old fights, and hopefully we can build off of that as far as like a game plan.
And the support that you have here locally is your second amateur fight, but you're not going, out of your element. You're not leaving home to actually do it. Is there ease, especially since you're still at the amateur level?
I guess there's a mixture of ease because everybody here kind of does support you, but at the same time, you're fighting in front of all of your friends and family, and everybody here is coming to watch you, so it is that kind of added pressure not to do bad in front of them.
And now, we'd be wrong not to acknowledge the success that your brother has had recently. How much of an effect has he had on you and in your progression as a mixed martial artist?
Oh man, he's huge. He's instrumental in it. He's so good, and it makes me want to be better. But training with him all the time just kind of gives me a better look, because from what I can assume, Scott Ingram's not going to be anything close to my brother, and a lot of fighters at my weight class, since my brother did used to fight at 135, aren't going to be as good as my brother. So he gives me a good competition, a good look, which is kind of good for me.
What's training and just hanging out with family been like now that he's going to challenge Demetrius for a championship?
It's all pretty much the same. He's kept a pretty level head about it. Our family's kind of supportive. Everything's pretty much the same. They don't really. Nothing's actually changed as far as it, except for people always ask me, how's your brother doing? Aside from that.
The question's on how are you doing, it's always how's your brother doing?
Yeah, more or less. It's less about how I'm doing as a person, more about my brother's career. But it's good. But yeah, he hasn't changed. Our family hasn't changed as far as any of that, and nobody goes out of their way to make anything different. So it's really good for him.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you progress. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much.
And December 1st, Scott Ingram against Eric Dodson, reporting live from Landon Venata's motorcycle.
Looks good on me.
Don't be mad, Landon. Catch you guys.